Hi. In this video I'm going to show you how to solve a Shakashaka puzzle. Before we begin, let's experiment for a while. The main rule of Shakashaka is that all white areas in the solution must be rectangular. This means that we should place the triangles in such a way that they don't create any weird shaped areas. First, let's see what happens when you place a triangle on the edge of the puzzle. If the acute angle points towards the edge of the puzzle, it will form some triangular white area. We will not be able to include it in any rectangular area. If there should be a triangle there, then one of its legs should be aligned with the edge of the puzzle. The same way the acute angle cannot point towards a black cell, or towards a leg of another triangle. Now let's see what we can place in a cell which has two edges, forming a corner. In all but one case we'll have an acute angle pointing towards either the edge of the puzzle or towards the one. If there should be a triangle in this corner cell, its legs must be aligned with the edges. If there is an empty cell between two edges, we will not be able to place a triangle there. All possible orientations of a triangle here would cause a triangular white area. Therefore this cell must be white. When we place a black triangle, its hypotenuse is always a part of the side of a white rectangle. This means that there should be another one somewhere at the opposite side. If we placed the triangle here, there would be nowhere to place the opposite one. So this is another impossible move. If we try to create the opposite side like this, we will find it impossible to connect both sides. Now that we have some conclusions from our experiment, we can try and solve this puzzle. First, let's take a look at the 2 in the corner. 2 means that there should be 2 triangles in the neighbor cells. There are 2 neighbor cells, so all of them must contain a triangle. They are both corner cells, so we can only place the triangles like this. We have created one of the sides of a rectangle. Each side of a rectangle can either continue in the same direction, or make a 90 degrees turn. In this case there is nowhere to continue it, so it must make a turn. I like to think of it as if it bounces off an obstacle. Now the bottom side hits an obstacle and it should bounce up. Our first rectangle starts to take shape. We just need to close it like this. Now let's take a look at this 3. This cell has 2 edges on the opposite sides, so it cannot contain a triangle. We can mark this cell with a dot to indicate that it should be left white. Now the 3 has only 3 available neighbors for its triangles. The one above is a corner cell, so we can quickly place a triangle there. It bounces to the left. And then down. The cell under the 3 needs a triangle, and there are 2 ways to place it. If we place the triangle like this, we would not be able to place an opposite one. So we must place the triangle like this. The top side will bounce down off of the white cell. And the bottom side will bounce right off of the 3. The third neighbor has 2 valid ways to place a triangle, so we'll leave it for now. Now let's take a look at this 4. It needs a triangle in all 4 neighbor cells. This would be a wrong move, because we wouldn't be able to place an opposite side. So we should place the triangle in the other possible way. The bottom side bounces up off the black cell. And then left off the edge. This is another impossible way to place a triangle. We wouldn't be able to place an opposite side. So the triangle above the 4 must be positioned like this. The rectangle is almost completed, so we close it on the other side. Now let's check out the 2s at the bottom. The cell between both 2's has opposite edges, so it should be white. This leaves 2 available neighbor cells for each of the 2's. There is a corner cell next to the 2 on the right, which we can easily solve. It will bounce up and then to the left. There is a corner cell next to the other 2 as well. We quickly place a triangle there. It bounces up, then to the right, and then down. This makes another corner cell which should have a triangle. The upper side bounces to the right, and the bottom one bounces up. This triangle should have an opposite one. The only possible way to have one is this. Our last moves created 3 more corner cells, which should have triangles. We can quickly solve them and we can do some bounces too. Now let's move to this area. We can spot a cell with 2 opposite edges. It must be white. The cell under it is a corner cell, but if it has a triangle it wouldn't be a valid move. This means that it should be white. Here is another trick that you can use. If this cell is white, then it will form a white corner area, which cannot become rectangular. There should be a triangle there and the only valid way to place it is like this. We can do some bounces too. Now let's focus on the 3 on the left side. It has only 3 neighbors, so all of them should have a triangle. 2 of the neighbors are corner cells, so we can easily place triangles there, which will bounce off of the edge. This triangle should have an opposite one. It can only be placed here. Now this side will bounce to the right. Let's move to the bottom left region. These 2 cells must be white. We cannot leave the other cells white because the shape isn't rectangular. There should be some triangles there. And this is the only way to create a rectangle in a 2x2 area. Now let's see if we can do some work on the one in the top left corner. The cell on the left should be definitely white. We cannot place a triangle in the corner cell below. It must also be white. This cell cannot be white, because it will form some corner white area. It must be a triangle and this is the only possible way it can be placed. Now the one is completed, so the other neighbor cell must be white. We can do some bouncing. And we can close the rectangle like this. Now the third neighbor of the 3 is a corner cell. And we can also place its opposite. Now let's focus on this area. If this cell was white, then the one above should contain a triangle, but there is no valid way of placing it. Therefore our cell should have a triangle. And some bouncing again. This formed an interesting shape, which we can work on. What would happen if this side is continued? It would create a non-rectangular shape. Therefore it must make a 90 degrees turn. And we can also complete the other rectangle. This pattern is easy to remember and you can quickly solve it like this whenever you spot it. Now the third side of the 3 became a corner cell, which is easily solved. This 3 already has 3 triangles, so the other side must be white. Which allows us to place this triangle too. This cell cannot be white. It must be a triangle and it can only be placed like this. 2 more bounces. And we are done. In the next video I will show you some patterns, which are easy to spot and remember. I will also show you some advanced techniques which will help you solve harder puzzles.